Alright, I've been testing the remote out for a couple of days now, and I gotta say I really like the features of it. It's been really useful for me. Look at this. Alright, I just turned the camera on and it'll find the camera. At some point it should find the camera. Right, there we go. Alright, and we see how many shots I took and all of that. And it's like the camera's right here, okay? You can see I got the camera just sitting right here. It's like it's right on my shoulder. Why don't I just, I've been reaching back to turn it on and off. I've been using the rear view mirror, and I could see the camera. Okay, well, I don't know if that shows very well, but I could see the camera. Yeah, right there. If this camera shows. And I've been doing that. I've been watching the camera and pressing the button, reaching back, pressing the button. It's right here. But with the remote, it's so much easier to deal with. I just simply drive and, well, just hold on to it. Since I got gear shifting and stuff, I kind of try to keep it on my driver's side, and I'm just sitting there flipping through every time I hit a stop sign or whatever, stoplight. Mostly stoplights. I'll turn the camera off and on, and then I keep the pre-record. Well, actually, okay, let me just say, when I turn it on, it doesn't automatically start the Hindsight feature. It doesn't automatically start that. So every time I turn it on, I gotta turn that on. Alright, so that's something to pay attention to for the camera when you're turning it on and stuff. But then from there, turning the remote on and off, it'll automatically it'll go to Hindsight. And sometimes the camera will fail, but the Hindsight tends not to. The only time the Hindsight fails is at the beginning, when it just doesn't automatically turn on. So I use the remote, and I can use the remote with the Hindsight. This doesn't turn the Hindsight off when I turn the camera off and on. So it's nice in that regard. But it feels safer to drive with this remote, because even though it's a couple of inches to my right here, it's just so much easier just to keep my hands forward and just rely on the remote, because I'm not searching for this camera, because I gotta carefully search and then get the hand to the steering wheel, and even the shifter. That's kind of split seconds. We're talking split seconds when I can just hold on to the remote and press the button, even though it's right here, and I have better control of when to turn on the camera on and off, and I have to do that. I want to do it for stoplights, and I want to do it just to cut short. If I'm on a long stretch, cut short that's like 12 minutes. It goes to a different clip. The way the Gopro like adds clips, it's weird. It doesn't go by dates like Samsung does, which is very convenient. It goes by like 100 and then 100 after that, and then if it goes after 12 minutes, it goes to 200 and then 100 after that. And that's not in very good chronological order for me when I got 31 clips, because then I got to look to the bottom for the 200, 100, and it's just too much of a hassle. I just try to try to cut the recording short of, I usually shoot for around 7 minutes. All right, and then this remote, I got a little bit of a complaint about it, that it doesn't really remember my other cameras. I got a like, so yeah, I got my Max up here, and then I put this 9 in here, and I can't really put those cameras on permanently. When I turn this remote off, all it remembers is one camera. And originally I put the Max on, and then I put the 10 on second, but every time I turned the remote on, it was looking for the Max first. It only looked for the Max, and it didn't show any pre-saves for the 10. And I'm using the 10 mostly, so I reset this remote and put the 10 on, and I'm just using this for only one device. So I guess I'll have to, I have to keep this on. If I want to use multiple cameras, I have to keep this on and then input those cameras, up to 5, if I wanted to do something like that. But I can't like just turn this off and then turn it back on and have all these multiple cameras. It loses the other 4, and but it keeps 1. I guess I should be thankful that it at least keeps 1. I paid $80 for it. I mean, wow, it is a nice luxury to have. I really appreciate it. I didn't know quite what to expect, but this is pretty decent. I got it at a Best Buy, so just inches away, and it's quite convenient with this 10. I mean, I want to think about like it being like kind of something I could use off in the distance too, and there's those possibilities with the 360 or something. Maybe I could do something from the distance, but my immediate testing of it, my most common use for this, that I found it to be very useful, is the right here, just using it to control the camera as I'm driving, so I can maintain better control of how I'm working, how I'm moving on the road. I don't really care for this too much of a distraction, having to reach back, and sometimes this camera will shut off without a warning. It's done that a couple of times, and I turned off beep because I use Hindsight. So even if it shuts off, it starts going into Hindsight, and I'll have at least the last 30 seconds. And then if I turn the beep on, the beep would let me know if it turns off sometimes. And if I have Hindsight on, it records the beep too, and that's kind of annoying. I'm not really big on editing, so this beep I had to turn off, and I just have to pay attention to the screen. The screen's actually, this 10 is easier, and the 9 too. The 9 and the 10, not the 8. All right, the 9 and 10 are now easier to see at night, not the 8 though. I've turned this 8 into a necklace, because and I'm happy not to have to deal with this small front screen, because I'm very reliant on the front screen, looking at the rear view mirror, and then at seeing a better display. I use a display. I don't use a picture to look at it. I need the display so I know the time, and it's nice that it's bright at night compared to this. I had to do guesswork with the 8 driving at night, and the 8, the night vision is not as good on the 8. The night vision is much better on the 10, on the 9 and 10. So now I'm more inclined to record driving at night as well, because it looks like how my eyes see, which I really appreciate. So I'm just talking about the remote, and I don't use that wrist strap. I just keep it in the car right now. That's about the main function of it, and I really appreciate the utility, the usefulness of it. Makes driving safer.